Hi, so I'm joined by with Sean, who's a Torquay United fan who's travelled to Maidenhead today. We've had a little bit of a chat off camera. He's actually flown in from New York for the game. I'll let him tell you how true that is or not. So yeah, Sean, nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you.
Obviously, National League South game today away at Maidenhead. Torquay fans expecting obviously a decent following. We spoke to a few Maidenhead guys, and there were about 400 Torquay expected down here today. So yeah, what's your thoughts on your season so far? Yeah, just today really.
Well, look, today I think we've got a good win in midweek.
Yeah.
Now we've been excellent at home this season so far. But,
Yep.
We've had a challenged away form. We had a great result at Farmer on Wednesday night. As you quite rightly say, I missed that game because I was in New York. I flew back in today, so rather than going back to Torquay, I came here.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to the game. We've started pretty well. I think we've got a better squad than last year.
Yeah.
Obviously after the disappointment of the playoffs, but it's a tough league.
It is, and I think what you find with like the National League and National Leagues North and South is like, you've got teams like Torquay, big fan base. You look at the North, Darlington, Chester, these sides that well supported. The fans believe that they should be National League or even higher. Torquay were in the Football League not long ago.
Exactly.
And there's an expectation there, isn't there? So anything less than that, and that's a problem. So tell me a bit about your manager and about your squad in general. So is things going well with the manager and everyone on board with how things are going? Or
most definitely, Paul Z, he's done a great job. I mean, I think it's his second season. When he joined last year, we had one player when he joined.
Right.
So he built a whole squad last season, and as you know, we just missed out on the famous last day last year.
Yeah.
I think the squad is better and stronger this year than it was last year.
Right.
There's some great additions, particularly in midfield.
Yeah.
Matt Worthington coming in with the experience that he's got, and we've got a fantastic defence. We were incredibly unlucky with injuries. The 6 new players we had, 5 of them were out for for sort of 4 weeks.
Wow.
They've started to come back, and now you can see
something starting to gel.
It's definitely starting to gel.
And is there like a real sort of community feel down at Torquay? Because you look at the manager, Paul, and obviously he looks like he's a West Country lad. He was at Yeovil, Truro, obviously played a lot of games at Plymouth.
Exactly.
And obviously managed at Truro and then come through to Torquay. So is he sort of part of the area as well and sort of like embraced what Torquay is about and the local community and all that?
Totally. And like, for clubs like ours, dare I say it, but you want teams like Plymouth to be doing well because actually that filters through and it can help clubs like Torquay.
Definitely.
Paul, I think, epitomises that. And what the new board has done has been phenomenal.
Well, I was going to touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, now when I'd be at Plainmoor, 2 years ago, and we'd be having under 2,000 fans, and now everybody's got behind the club, behind Paul, realising when the club went into administration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And now we've got I think there's a new vibe around the place. Yeah. I mean, look, we average nearly 4,000 people.
That's unbelievable.
4,000 fans in our league, and everybody's got behind it. And even before the game, you could see the stuff going on outside the ground. There's a real community feel to it.
Do you know what I thought was great as well? Is obviously you never want to see a team go to administration, have money problems, etc. But the way the community rallied round, and obviously I'm not from Torquay, but you see the wider football family come together and support Torquay, especially Plymouth as well. Like, the Plymouth fans came down to one of your games, and they put money in, and there was massive support from Plymouth, and that's just great to see. Clubs at this level, need support from the Football League. Torquay in a couple of years could be a Football League club, but
hopefully
it's just so important that teams like Torquay and communities don't lose that love and that football, and to have the support of like the clubs nearby. We all want rivalry, but we also want support as well.
It was amazing. I think Exeter had challenges back in the early 2000s. When we had our challenges a couple of years ago, the 2 friendlies that we played with Plymouth and Exeter, we had a sellout for Plymouth, a virtual sellout for Exeter, and that's crucial for us. And actually, for them to waive any money and say that all of that money comes to Torquay is amazing. And actually see on the popular side with Plymouth and Exeter shirts, It's amazing, and you're absolutely right. Look, for us in Devon, there's 3 sides in Devon, and it's important you've got 3 sides. But obviously we want to be back National League and above. But I will say, as you follow this league, it's such a great advert for football.
I actually think the National Leagues North and South are very brutal, and I'd probably go down a level as well to like the Southern Prem, the Northern Prem. Some of the sides, and I've already touched on it, but some of the sides you have around that level of football, and you just think like, you have like one team winning the league, and then you have like the playoffs, and the way the playoffs are done, with like the playoff eliminator and all that. Agree or disagree with that. I know it makes good TV and good drama, but it's harsh, isn't it? I remember that Torquay game a few years ago when you played at Bristol City, and I forget the opponent. Was it? I can't forget the opponent. Hartlepool. That was it. And it went to penalties, didn't it?
Well, if you remember rightly, so Covenant's the goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper. Right. We had 2 goals disallowed.
That's right. I remember it
in the game. Which, by the way, the referee said afterwards he apologised and said neither should have been disallowed. Thanks for that. But I remember after that game. Firstly we equalised in the 94th, 96th minute.
That's right. Yeah.
Then lost on penalties. But I remember on that day, I turned around to friends of mine, one of my friends who's here with me today, and I said, this will be a problem now because the team that Gary Johnson had put together at the time
just got ripped
up. Yeah. And I would say half those players, more than half now, playing in the Football League because that was the standard they were. And you know what? That's what Paul's done here. Yes, there's been a bit of critique from some fans over some of the away form in the early part. But I think everyone has short memories, and to put together a squad like that in a competitive league, yes, we've got the biggest fan base and all that sort of stuff, but no one has a right to be at the top.
Yeah, and also fan bases don't necessarily win leagues, do they? You see it throughout the Football League and below, like, there's plenty of teams that might have the biggest fan base and all this, but it doesn't always work like that, So a couple more questions from me.
Sure.
One on Neil Warnock. So how has Neil Warnock been involved in the club? Has it changed anything? Of fans? Has he been to meet the fans? Have you noticed the presence of him at the ground? Has it been negative? Maybe, I don't know.
Nothing negative. Only totally positive.
Right.
We're as a fan, you can only really just thank him for helping and being.
That's the answer I wanted. I was hoping he was going to say positive.
Totally. I think he's there. For someone with his experience, can help Paul when needed. Help the board when needed. But I mean, he does it for the love of the game and for the love of Torquay, actually. So no, it's hugely positive for us, and actually also raises our profile as
100%. Well, I remember when it happened, and it was like Sky Sports, BBC, everyone picked up on that story, didn't they? And he's a real football man. Love him and hate him. And I know people make comments, but he is football, isn't he? Neil Warnock just epitomises football. Totally. And he's an advocate for non-league football as well. So it just works perfectly. Plus, obviously, he knows Torquay as well. So,
he does, and he has a passion for the club. I mean, look, I was at Chesham a few weeks ago. Where we lost, but I was at Chesham a few weeks ago, and Neil's there. I mean, he travels everywhere to come and watch us as well.
Do you think he'll be here today?
I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. I've seen.
We'll have to tap him up for an interview.
Exactly. I can't promise you. I don't know.
No. And final one for me. Just give me a score prediction on today's game.
So today we're going to win. And it's going to be 3-1 today. 3-1. I think we're just fine in form. 3-1.
So it's going to be a good week after that 2-1 win at Farnborough midweek. You're going to carry that on.
3-1 at Farnborough.
Was it 3-1 at Farnborough?
It was 3-1. So there you go. 3-1 again.
So 2 3-1s in a week. Sets to be a good afternoon for Torquay. Here we go. So let's see what happens.
Thanks very much.
Take care.
Thanks,
brilliant.